get
I'm a
anything
tell you
else.
like I told Puppy, I don't let men take me out, sir.
All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is, TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
Y'all, what if everything you thought you knew about Hollywood was a lie? What if the red carpets, the awards, and those billion-dollar smiles were nothing more than a carefully staged cover? Because behind the cameras, behind the fame, and behind those picture-perfect power couples, there's something darker, something disturbing that nobody wants to talk about. Tonight, we're ripping the curtain wide open. This isn't just gossip anymore. This isn't just rumors whispered online or brushed off as conspiracy. This is about real names, real documents, flight logs, and people at the very top suddenly going silent. We're talking about Jeffrey Epstein, not just a billionaire, but an alleged gatekeeper to a hidden world of power, control, and exploitation. A private island, secret guest lists, closed-door parties, and some of the biggest celebrities on the planet reportedly orbiting that world. Politicians, royalty, music moguls, Hollywood elites. And now, according to resurfaced reports, archived interviews, and insiders finally speaking out, even the so-called untouchables are being questioned. Industry kings, people everyone thought could never fall. Then Katt Williams steps up to the mic and says what few others are brave enough to say. All lies will be exposed. Not maybe, not someday. Exposed. Suddenly, lawsuits begin to surface. Old clips resurface. Former bodyguards speak. Victims come forward. Files are unsealed. Millions of pages, countless images, and powerful names keep appearing where they shouldn't. Coincidence? Or a pattern Hollywood hoped you'd never notice? Because when this many whispers start sounding the same, it stops being a rumor. It starts looking like a cover-up. And if even half of this is true, it could become the biggest entertainment scandal of our lifetime. And trust me, what comes next only gets worse.
In 30 years, I've done nothing but collect information, knowledge, and your secrets. So if you and a man was in a corner doing something you wasn't supposed to be doing,
You will tell it.
no, somebody come to tell me.
Okay.
I gather that, I value that, I'll pay for that. Come, tell me. I know so many things I shouldn't know, and they all know it.
Something doesn't add up. Every time Jeffrey Epstein's name resurfaces, another powerful face seems to disappear. Another celebrity goes quiet. Another interview vanishes. Another story gets buried. For years, Epstein was treated like just another wealthy billionaire, a philanthropist, a socialite, a man who hosted charity dinners, posed for photos with presidents, and flew private jets filled with the world's elite. But behind that polished image, prosecutors allege there was something far darker. A private island, locked guest lists, underage victims, secret flights at 3 a.m., and the kind of parties no one dares to discuss in public. Little St. James, better known online as Epstein Island, wasn't a vacation getaway or a luxury retreat. According to court filings and sworn testimonies, it was allegedly a playground for the rich and untouchable. And here's where it gets truly disturbing. This wasn't just one man. This wasn't just one monster. This was a network. Politicians, royalty, tech billionaires, music moguls, Hollywood royalty, all circling the same individual, appearing in the same photographs, flying on the same planes. Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, Naomi Campbell, names that once felt completely untouchable are now permanently tied to one of the darkest scandals in modern history. And when the Justice Department released more than 3 million pages of documents, flight logs, emails, and sealed testimonies, something strange happened. Certain names kept appearing again and again. Coincidence or something deeper? Because when the same celebrities keep orbiting the same crimes, people start asking questions. And then Katt Williams stepped on stage, picked up a microphone, and said what no one else would. Not jokes, not punchlines, but warnings.
Narratives for themselves.
Are you not afraid about being blackballed again? These are some power people.
What do you mean again? These people are not powerful. Satan can't create anything. That includes blessings for his people. That's why, you know what the number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is?
What?
Is to act like it didn't happen. They all do the same job.
Cabal, a closed circle, a group that protects its own. If you're inside, you're shielded. If you speak out, you disappear. Suddenly, Hollywood doesn't feel like entertainment anymore. It feels like a system, a machine that builds stars and crushes anyone who asks too many questions. Look at the pattern. Every time someone exposes the truth, careers stall, deals vanish, studios go silent, and phones stop ringing. That's exactly what Katt hinted at. Not just corruption, but punishment.
They canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my penis in front of all my people at my agency. What am I supposed to do? He did all of that. I'm thinking I'm the only black person on the script. I get there, there's 3 other black guys on there. Woo!
Before the truth came out, think about that. Before means he spoke too early, and the industry tried to shut him down. We've seen this pattern before. Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, Kelly, all powerful, all protected, until suddenly, everything collapsed almost overnight. So now people are asking the uncomfortable question. If those giants could fall, who's next? The whispers are starting again. This time, they're centered around the music industry, around moguls, billionaire rappers turned businessmen, private parties, closed rooms, secret NDAs, and celebrities who seem oddly connected to every major controversy. Names like Diddy, names like Jay-Z, not convicted, not charged, but repeatedly surrounded by rumors, lawsuits, and former associates speaking out. Then there's the Cassie case. Former bodyguards coming forward. Old footage resurfacing. Stories emerging that sound disturbingly familiar. On their own, they aren't proof. But when you zoom out, a picture begins to form. Not convictions, but patterns. Not facts, but questions. And questions are dangerous in Hollywood. Hollywood doesn't like questions. It prefers silence, control, and obedience, and sometimes sacrifice. Even respected actors have spoken about it. The pressure, the exploitation, the quiet deals made behind closed doors, and the unspoken rule that you play along. Because if you don't work. You don't eat. And eventually you don't exist.
He knew in his life he likes to see them a lot. So I went there a whole bunch of times, and it led to, unfortunately, he forced me to have sex with him.
Sacrifice everything. Time, privacy, dignity, sometimes even your voice. That's when you realize this isn't just fame. It's control. Because what happens when billionaires shape your career? What happens when moguls own the media? What happens when stories vanish overnight, posts disappear, and headlines never get written? People start to notice. The silence grows louder. Why do certain outlets refuse to talk? Why are some celebrities never questioned? Why do some scandals trend for weeks while others vanish within hours? And why, every time Epstein's files resurface, does the internet erupt with the same familiar names? It's almost as if the industry is hoping you'll forget. But that's the problem. People aren't forgetting anymore. They're connecting dots. Flight logs, guest lists, old interviews, archived photos, long-standing friendships. And suddenly, that flawless Hollywood image begins to crack. Because maybe the biggest story isn't who was arrested, it's who wasn't. And trust this. This is only the beginning. Once people start digging into the files, breaking down the names, and following the money, some of the biggest icons in entertainment may never look the same again. What Katt Williams says next is where things truly become uncomfortable. This is where the story stops feeling like gossip and starts feeling far darker. Up until now, it was easy to dismiss everything as internet noise, rumors, speculation, conspiracy threads scrolling endlessly on social media. But then the victims began to speak. And when victims speak, everything changes. Documents can be manipulated. PR teams can spin narratives. Lawyers can intimidate. But trauma doesn't fake itself. When multiple survivors independently describe the same man, the same houses, the same island, and the same rooms, people stop laughing. Fear replaces denial. Because according to sworn testimony, this wasn't just a wealthy man throwing wild parties.
I'm going to consider promoting this film. Because if you get nominated for an Oscar award, your next film is $3 to $5 million. And if you win it, your next film is $6 to $8 million. I said, Tyler, who you talking to? I'm a black woman. Where do they pay those type of salaries, brother? I said, what I cannot do, Tyler, is work for free. I've done what I was supposed to do. I cannot go overseas and do this for free, Tyler. So then he goes on about his spiel, you know. I said, well, listen, you can write me the check for me to go overseas. I don't care where the money comes from, but I'm not going to do it for free. He says, well, I don't believe in giving money away for free. I said, I don't believe in working for free, so we're on the same page.
No dramatic music. No special effects. Just 7 words. 7 words that hit harder than any headline ever could. Because suddenly, this isn't about celebrities. It isn't about politics. This is about abuse. Forced. Not invited. Not consensual. Forced. And that's the part Hollywood doesn't want you focusing on. They want you distracted by the fame, the private jets, the luxury lifestyle. But behind that luxury, according to prosecutors, there were underage girls being trafficked through one of the most powerful social circles on Earth. And what makes it even more disturbing is how Epstein operated. He didn't move like a criminal. He moved like a diplomat. He wasn't hiding. He was networking. Dinners with billionaires. Meetings with tech founders. Photos with royalty. Charity galas alongside presidents. Which raises the uncomfortable question no one wants to answer. If everyone barely knew him, why was everyone around him? Look at the pattern. Every time Epstein's contact book leaks, another global name appears. Not small players. Not nobodies. We're talking world leaders, Fortune 500 CEOs, music legends, and supermodels. And the excuses always sound the same. I met him once. It was business. I didn't know. But how many times can that explanation work before it starts sounding rehearsed? At some point, coincidence turns into connection. And one of the biggest names forced to confront that reality was Bill Gates. Yes, the billionaire philanthropist, the man associated with global health initiatives and vaccines. Even he couldn't escape the shadow. Records showed meetings, dinners, and private conversations, years after Epstein had already become controversial. Eventually, Gates had to address it publicly. And if you listen closely to the tone, it isn't denial or anger, it's regret.
Brings me to Jeffrey Epstein. I want to know what your relationship with him.
Yeah, I met Jeffrey in 2011. So over a period of 3 years, I had a number of dinners with him. The focus was always, he knew a lot of very rich people, and he was saying he could get them to give money to global health. You know, in retrospect, that was a dead end, and I've said many times, but
regret. That word keeps popping up. Not I never met him. Not it didn't happen. Just regret. Because meeting Epstein wasn't illegal, but being associated with him after everything we now know? That's career poison. And Gates isn't alone. One by one, powerful figures are quietly distancing themselves, trying to rewrite history, shrink their connections, and act as if they barely crossed paths. But the photos exist. The flight logs exist. The emails exist. And the internet never forgets. Which brings us to another familiar face, a fashion icon known for runways, magazine covers, and red carpets, Naomi Campbell. She too appeared in Epstein's orbit. Photos, events, private gatherings. And when the questions finally came, her response sounded uncomfortably familiar. Carefully worded, cautious, and eerily similar to answers we've heard before.
I was introduced to him on my 31st birthday by my ex-boyfriend Flavio. He was always front and center at Victoria's Secret shows.
Did you suspect what he was doing?
No, and what he's done is indefensible.
Again, the same pattern. I knew him, but everyone knew him. Everyone was around him, but no one knew what he was doing. Everyone attended the parties, yet no one noticed the victims. Think about how strange that sounds. One man somehow fooled presidents, royalty, billionaires, supermodels, and Hollywood elites for decades. Or did people simply stop asking questions because he was useful? Because he had money? Because he had connections? Because he had access? And because sometimes power protects power. That's what makes this story so uncomfortable. Jeffrey Epstein wasn't hiding in the shadows. He was operating in plain sight. And if that's true, then how many others were hiding in plain sight as well? How many other untouchables moved through the same rooms, shared the same dinners, and boarded the same private flights? When you zoom out, this stops looking like the story of one evil man and starts looking like a system. A system where fame opens doors, money closes mouths, and victims are buried under NDAs, legal threats, and silence. For years, that system worked flawlessly. But now something is changing. Millions of files are being unsealed. New names surface every month. Survivors are refusing to stay quiet. The system isn't exploding or collapsing, but it's cracking. Hairline fractures, maybe, but fractures spread. And once the public starts asking questions, once pressure builds, once sponsors get nervous, Hollywood doesn't protect you anymore. It replaces you. Some of the biggest names in music and entertainment are watching this very carefully right now. Because if politicians can fall, if billionaires can issue apologies, and if royalty can lose titles, then nobody is truly untouchable. We're entering the part of the story the industry is most desperate to avoid. The moguls, the music empires, the figures Katt Williams warned about when he said all lies will be exposed. And what happens next is where things turn explosive.
No, you gotta go back now and say, why was the NFL continuing to support with all the confusion going on in the media? And maybe it's all of that foul money, right?
Listen to the tone. Not fear, not hesitation, but suspicion. He isn't defending anyone. He's questioning everything. And that's dangerous, because once one person starts asking questions publicly, millions begin asking them privately. Suddenly, people start connecting dots the industry hoped would never connect. Money, influence, media silence, certain names protected, certain headlines disappearing. And one of the names that keeps resurfacing is Jay-Z. Not convicted, not charged, but constantly orbiting controversy. Old photos, old friendships, old associations, the same circles, the same private rooms, the same closed-door deals. Then there's Diddy, another industry mogul, another figure tied to familiar networks and familiar whispers. And now, with Epstein's files resurfacing, those connections are being examined differently, not as coincidences, but as patterns. And here's what scares Hollywood the most. Patterns can't be erased. You can delete tweets. You can pressure bloggers. You can call lawyers. But you can't erase memory. Once fans start digging, old stories resurface. Former insiders speak up. Archived footage reappears. That's when the narrative shifts. Because this isn't about rumors anymore. It's about repetition. And repetition demands answers. Then something unexpected happens. An accuser does what no one anticipated. No vague hints. No coded language. Just direct, public words, on the record. And once a name is spoken out loud, there's no putting it back in the shadows.
Black guys, politicians, your famous actors, the Pope, high-level people, they all participate. This is an email from the Epstein files. All you need is a blood transfusion from the pack and you reverse agent.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
It's a serious question.
Sorry.
Do you think you're the devil himself?
I don't know. Why would you say that?
Is your money dirty money?
If you live,
I just asked a question. Is your money dirty money?
No, it's not. So, in fact,
why is it not dirty money?
Because I earned it.
But you earned it.
That's the moment everything shifts. Because saying a name publicly changes the game. These are allegations, not proven claims. But in today's world, allegations alone spread like wildfire. And wildfire doesn't wait for proof. It feeds on fear, curiosity, and what if? Once the internet hears something like that, it doesn't sleep. Old interviews get clipped. Party photos resurface. Past lawsuits are re-examined. People start asking uncomfortable questions. Why were the same people always around each other? Why the same private events, the same elite circles? Why do former associates suddenly speak out years later? And why, every time a new scandal breaks, do the same names appear nervous? Because Hollywood isn't just entertainment, it's business. billion-dollar business. And billion-dollar empires don't collapse quietly. They collapse ugly. Sponsors pull out. Followers disappear. Public trust fractures. We've seen it before. Diddy, once considered untouchable, now surrounded by lawsuits, raids, and non-stop headlines. And if it can happen to him, it can happen to anyone. No matter how rich, no matter how legendary, no matter how flawless the image looks. Fame protects you, until it doesn't. That's exactly what Katt Williams tried to warn people about years ago. Long before the files were unsealed, before lawsuits piled up, before whispers turned into storms, he kept saying the same thing. Hollywood has secrets, big ones. And the people at the top know exactly what's going on. But no one listens until it's too late. Now everything he said sounds different. Less like comedy, more like prophecy. While others were chasing deals and applause, Katt was watching, listening, and remembering. And when the moment came, he made one thing clear. He wasn't scared. Not of the money. Not of the moguls. Not of the billionaires. Because according to him, the truth always wins, eventually. And that's where this story lands. Right here. Right now. At a breaking point. Files opening.
So help me God. Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's
receipts. And that word hits differently now because receipts mean proof. Proof leads to exposure. Exposure brings consequences. And consequences don't care how famous you are. So if you think this story is over, it's not. It's only beginning. Because once the truth starts leaking, it doesn't stop. And the next name to fall might shock everyone. If you really believe this ends here, you haven't been paying attention. This was never just about one island. Never just about one billionaire. Never just about one monster named Epstein. This is about an entire system. A system that smiled in your face while something far darker was happening behind closed doors. Private jets, private rooms, private deals. And somehow, the same powerful names kept rising to the top. Untouched, protected, seemingly untouchable. Until now. Because something is different this time. Victims aren't scared anymore. Files aren't sealed anymore. And the internet isn't sleeping anymore. 3 million documents don't lie. Flight logs don't lie. Photos don't lie. And when celebrities suddenly go quiet, delete posts, turn off comments, and quietly hire lawyers, that isn't confidence. That's panic. So the question isn't whether something happened. The real question is how much has been hidden from us this entire time. How many careers were built on silence? How many people looked the other way? How many insiders knew and chose to say nothing? Because if even a fraction of these allegations are true, this isn't just a scandal. It's betrayal at the highest level. Betrayal of fans. Betrayal of trust. Betrayal of basic humanity. And make no mistake, this house of cards is shaking. More names will surface. More receipts will drop. More empires will crack. So don't blink. Don't scroll past it. And don't let distractions pull your focus away. Because the next expose, the next leak, the next fall from grace could be the moment that changes everything.